Hey everyone, it's Sarada, and excuse the awkward angle. The room I usually use for recording these is occupied at the moment, so I have to makeshift a place for me to record, so I'm standing against my closet right now. But yeah, I'm going to share this with you guys today, and this is one of my many sketch binders. I can't call it a book because I drew on printer paper for the longest time and just filled binder after binder with the drawings. So this one is from 2004, mainly. There might be some drawings for 2003 and maybe some for 2005, but in general this is 04, and it is full of my Sonic style drawings, which was like the very first thing I started drawing when I started taking being an artist a little more seriously. Like, I wanted to get better. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so this is actually take two. I recorded this earlier today, and it took me, not joking, 1.5 hours. And I started cutting it down, and 15 minutes into cutting it down, I still had 1 hour and 20 minutes left, so that wasn't workable. So I'm gonna do this again. This is the oldest drawing in the entire book, binder. It's from 2003. And I remember being very proud of this one because I hand drew all of the scales. So that one. And we have this, which is a traced drawing of a fan character for One Piece. Another fan character. I have a lot of them. This is Kana, and she was a Kingdom Hearts fan character. I wonder if I should zoom in a little. Just a little. I'm gonna regret it. This is also Kana in a different pose and different clothing. I played the game Tide the Tasmanian Tiger and I liked it a lot, so when I liked something a lot, I made a fan character. So this was Kyra, the Tasmanian Tiger, and she had rainbow colored boomerangs. She also disguised herself as a boy. I don't remember the context for it, but that was something she did. And this was among the first of my drawings I ever did. Like, seriously, I'm going to draw something. And this is Kira the Fox, and she's also one of my first OCs. And this is April 2004, so... oh, wait. Where is it? It's not in order anymore, but here. This was what I did to my drawings too. I made a really... I made a detailed head, and then I traced that and added a body later, just because that process was easier for me to handle. And this one here was just a different version of her. Rena. Her name is taken straight off of the character Rena from Star Ocean EX, and she was a wolf. She's a wolf hedgehog character now though, but you can see same method here. I did a head and then I traced the head again and did a body for it. This here though is my very first attempt at drawing something properly, because the others are very much referenced off of Sonic X character sheets and the likes. This was the first drawing I did where I didn't have any aid whatsoever, be it tracing or reference. More characters I never did much with. This was a band. I liked Angst a lot, so I drew this, and they're supposed to be individual drawings like this, so there's no correlation between them all. Another one of my characters, Shanna, and she was quite the rip-off of Sally Acorn from the Sonic the Hedgehog comic. Tex. And here's a display of my wonderful 15-year-old English abilities. He's a porcupine. Porcupined. I tried. I get a star for that. And here is another one, Veyrin, the Tasmanian Tiger. She, Tex, and this next character, Cor, are in a team, which was inspired by Sonic Heroes, where they worked in teams. So we have Veyrin, and here is Cor, who was a rabbit, is a rabbit. He's also still around. These three are still around. Here's another drawing of Luna, which you saw before. And here is a good example of me actually reworking a character. I did the headshot first, and then I realized, nah, I kind of want her to have green eyes and shorter hair, so I did that for the full body. Her name is Ginny. And here is, this is actually my second attempt at this character, but this is Fear, And here we have Rayleigh. This was a month after I did that first drawing. Basically, a month. Yeah, 29th of May, and the other one was 24th of April, so. I was very proud of the way I was progressing with my art at that time. And if anyone wants to know, I was 15 in 2004. Yeah, 14, 15. This is another one of my elemental characters, Saruke. This was a fursona, does that even count? A Sonic version of our dog, Selma. She was a very sassy poodle. I joined a site quite early on called Sonic Verse Team, SVT for short, and I met a lot of great people there, so I ended up drawing a lot of gift art. And these are two of the people I got to know there, Megan and Tawny. Nina Mongoose is one of my favorite Sonic characters, next to Knuckles. And this piece in particular, I remember I was very proud of it because it turned out really nice. Some really embarrassing Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog art. Wonderful. A little Sonic bust. Bust, not even a headshot. And Rayleigh's parents. This one I most definitely drew in school because I used felt tip pens and I owned none of that when I was a teenager. I enjoyed this sort of morbid, menacing, creepy looking style for a while. Rayleigh's parents again. This was a background piece, like background story piece for Core. And this here is another embarrassing drawing that I'm not going to talk about. This here is how I built characters before I was confident in drawing. I used the Sonic characters reference sheets or character sheets from Sonic X, and then I built my character on top of that. So you can see I used Amy's body and probably used Knuckles' feet, and same thing here. And here's a reference for all of the outfits Rayleigh had. So I did a couple of different outfits like this for Rayleigh. Here I traced off of a character sheet for Sonic and made him into a girl, or dressed him up as a girl honestly, because he's asking whether it will work or not. And I did the same for Knuckles. You can barely see these because they're so light. Here's a drawing of Rayleigh holding up a sign. This one is definitely a 2005 drawing because it's way better than the previous ones. This one I know for a fact I colored digitally. There will, as always, be a link to a folder, a stash folder on DeviantArt with all of the finished art from this, and I think it's most of the drawings, honestly. Here's a drawing of Rayleigh. Another drawing of Rayleigh. I drew her the most. She was partially my fursona, more of Rayleigh's parents. These are also newer. Most of these are newer, I think. Saya was Rayleigh's kid, and here is a whole sheet of drawings of Rayleigh's family, so her husband even. This is that band you saw in the beginning, the colored one, that's them. I never did much with them though. More angst because that was what I was into as a angsty teenager. I was more of an angry teenager, honestly. This here is a very early renditions of my elemental characters as well. Here is more elementals. This is Saruke and Jin, and this was Saruke's siblings. I drew a lot of character drawings, like just standing right upside down, because that was basically all I knew how to do. This is Corp's sister, Fear, and his siblings. And this tiny girl here was the daughter of these two characters. So I rolled her up in a blanket. And then we have the parents here. Chihana and Lutus. Lutus is one of my few disabled characters, or rather one of my two disabled characters, I think. He's blind, and Rayleigh technically counts as a disabled character because she wears leg prosthetics and she has an artificial eye. Another one of my characters. More of my characters. Selma, again, and more characters I don't use anymore. Designing characters was my favorite thing to do. More characters. Rin is also a very, very loved character in my collection of OCs. Speaking of, Rin again, and More Rin. I think I should have collected the drawings. Yep, more Rin. This was a friend I had on SVT. More characters, Tex and Core, Bayron's boyfriend. I have to make sure I'm still in frame. This was a contest entry. Kind of bad drawing, honestly. Very messy. A little bit of a comic-y drawing. Two of my characters. I had a series of drawings where I drew my characters, my female characters in kimonos. So Rayleigh and Kira on this one, and I know I have a few inked ones as well. This one I was super proud of when I finished it because it's like, it's so many characters in the same drawing. Portraits. Lots of them. And I inked this one and then I instantly regretted it because you can't see that there is a second or a fourth portrait here. Rin and this character are assassins. This is Orihime Natsuki, and if you get that reference, thank you very much. Characters based on animals with jobs, so a police dog and a military dog. Some Deers-inspired characters. This one is super old, 22nd of May 2004, and I was really proud of this one as well because it's a variety of poses and quite a lot of really bad quotes. I cosplayed two of my characters. I wanted to do more, I have a list there, but I did Veyrin as Ren from Deers. It's really bad, and then I did Rayleigh from Sakura from Naruto, which turned out better. Random character in bandages. I don't remember the context for this one. Random drawing. And this one is backward, but it's a panda in a kimono. Kimono. The first drawing I did of her is further back in this binder. This is Flare. She's a snow tiger or a white tiger, whatever you want to call it. Picking up a very messy drawing of Fear. Rayleigh. This is a piece of a comic. I think the rest of the comic is further back. Here is a lot of gift art. These are just other people's characters. More gift art. Gift art. More gift art. Gift art. So many gifts. But it was fun drawing other people's characters. This one is a little bit special because this is Nadim, and he was made by my best friend. I share a story with him. He has two characters, Nadim and Raziel, and I have one character named Kura. Random headshot. Shibis, and this is the first drawing I had destroyed. Or it's not destroyed, but you can see on her face she has a very smudgy nose and there's a smudge in her shoulder. I had a classmate and we left the classroom. I had left my drawings sitting on top of my workbook and we left the classroom for break, came back, and when we came back this one had a Hitler mustache and a swastika. And I wasn't particularly pissed about it, but I remember thinking, oh, he did this. That person did that. Because I don't know why I was so sure, but it was true, obviously, and later I found out that he liked me, so that was why he was destroying my artwork. And I was never angry about it, just I was so sure it was him. It didn't even surprise me, honestly. Fear, again, more of my elemental characters. I'm going through this rather quickly because since the previous video took such a long time, so I'm sorry if I'm not talking about every drawing, but I can't talk about every drawing. Actually, this one is interesting. This is Ray, and Ray is now a boy. And actually when I was going through this earlier, I realized that that actually gives me sort of grounds to make that a trans character, because the band that Ray belongs to, they are still around in Hazel Dawn. So that's actually an interesting character trait I can give that character if I want to. But yeah, so this was Ray, and Ray is now a boy. This is another member of that band, Abby. And this one, my family was really supportive about me drawing and me doing art. I'm really lucky to have such a supportive family. And this is my uncle. He asked me to draw him a character. He had seen me drawing and he was like, "Can't you draw me?" And I drew him, and I made a digital version and sent it to him. He printed it out and pinned it on his corkboard that he had in his office. It made me feel really proud about my drawings that he would do that for me. So I really, really appreciated it. Like, my family has always complimented me for my drawings, so that has helped me so much in being confident in what I draw. I rarely feel like I'm not good enough, and I think it's thanks to their support that I feel that way. So it's really great that that I've been able to have such a support from a young age, because I hear a lot from artists who don't have a supportive family, or people who tell them to quit drawing because it's not worth it and stuff like that. So I just feel really lucky, and I appreciate my family a lot for that. Rayleigh and Knuckles. I really like Knuckles. Knuckles is my favorite character next to Mina Mongoose, and I always pictured my character Rayleigh and Knuckles as being best friends. More gift art for other people. Here we get into the line art section. But I used to hand line it, scan it, and then color it in the computer. And I can still remember the tutorial I looked up to figure out how to color sketches and stuff digitally. This one I'm particularly proud of because I fit so many characters into the same drawing. It's kind of crazy. Here we go, a little reference sheet, or character sheet for Rayleigh, character sheet. This was the first drawing I saved a PDF for. And it's Sonic and Sally, and Sally, wow, no, it's Shanna, my character Shanna, but Sonic kept calling Shanna Sally because they look so much alike, and he thought it was funny. Shanna didn't. More gift art. More Rayleigh and Knuckles, and this one is both ugly and messy. Let's zoom up. This here is Rayleigh and Knuckles as adults, and then their kids, so it's Ray and Lara Sue. Veyron. And with this drawing I learned how to do grass digitally, which was really cool. Veyron and her boyfriend Ross, and Ross happens to be dead. Another one of my characters. More of my characters. Gift art. Rin. Rin. There. And headshots. These were for like character biography pages, I think. Here are more. And these are all just my characters. Those are wings. They're not that great. Rather early rendition of my elemental characters. More elemental characters. That's Sphere and his little sister. More of the elementals. These were also biography profile pictures. More Rin. Fierce brother, Ryan. Vent art. This one goes together with this one here. So it's like dun dun, and that one follows up like here. Fear and Ryan having a fight because they're rivals. And there was that piece. Here's Lutus. In this one I forgot that he was blind, so I drew pupils, but I removed them again when I did a digital version of it. Chihana and Lutus. These were the only adult characters I had at the time. They were my first adult characters, so they're married, and Chihana is actually pregnant in this picture. This was sort of a bigger version for those Deers-inspired characters. More PCG LAN art. So when they logged onto the PCG server, this image popped up along with all the rules and regulations and whatnot. So it was these two put together in a single piece. And it was counter-terrorists versus terrorists. And it was a really fun project for me. More gift art. Have to check I'm still in frame. Throwaway character. Worked it the same way as you did before. More gift art. Gift. Oh, a lot of gifts. I drew a flower wreath and I put these characters into the wreath, that one too. I played a lot of Neopets and I had two favorite Neopets. I had a red loop that was named Tsumeina and I made a Sonic character, her. And then I had a purple Gellert and I was so proud when I finally had the money to buy that purple paintbrush. But I had a purple Gellert and then her name was Kibania. And more gifts. Another gift. My OC. Here are more of those kimono drawings I mentioned. Haruhi and Junno. More kimono. This was a third Neopet I had, but I never did much with her. Flare, this is the first drawing of Flare I ever did. And then this one I'm really proud of because for art class in high school, okay, grading system. You could get IG, which was an F, you didn't pass. You could get G, which is basically a C. You could get VG, which is basically a B. And then you could get MVG, which is basically an A. So I was getting a B in this class, and I asked my teacher if I could I do a digital piece to show I'm really good at art? And she was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And I thought that was really awesome because she was the super old school old lady, what is digital art? She barely knew how to handle a computer, but she was like, yeah, go for it. And I got an A in this class because I got to do a digital piece and show what I could really do. And I thought that was really awesome at the time. Let's see, this was part of a fanfiction thing. There's going to be so much finished art for you to look at. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. These were really some of my oldest drawings, the first stuff I ever did when I decided I'm going to be an artist. So it was really fun to get to look at it again and to share it with you guys. I do 2 sketchbook tours every month, so if you want to see those, hit subscribe so you can catch more of them later. Question, was there something special that made you want to start drawing? Because obviously Sonic the Hedgehog was what made me start drawing. So was there something in particular that inspired you, or you were just no, I'm gonna be an artist? Because if that's the case, that's really cool that you could just be determined like that. But let me know in the comments down below, what inspired you to start drawing or become an artist? I'd really love to hear your story. Until next time, bye. Na 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 bad cat. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.